franchise for Miss Grand Philippines Canada through ALB Pageant Circle. But a little bit about myself is I am 45 years old. I went to Canada when I was 9 in 1989. And since then, I mean, lots has happened. I'm originally from Pampanga, Mabalacat, so North Luzon. And I have 4 children, and 2 of them are here, and I'd like to bring them, maybe introduce them.
Yes.
Summer and George. These are 2 of my kids that are here with me on this trip.
Hello. Yeah. Let's get some pictures.
So this is George. He's turning 11 in a few days, and this is Summer, who is 15 years old.
Hello. This side po. This side. Children. This girl. Miss. Here's Summer. Years.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, those are 2 of my kids, and I worked in the automotive industry in Canada as a director of finance. And quite recently, lots have changed in my life along with the business side of it and the personal. So I'll be doing a lot more traveling and engaging.
All right, thank you. Maybe we can start with the Paul asking the first question.
The first question that I would like to ask, how do you come about with getting yourself involved in pageantry? Or who pushed you to become a national director of a pageant?
Right, so I do a lot of hosting and emceeing events in Canada. And there was one time where I was on stage and I got approached by somebody to compete in Mrs. Asia International Canada. And it was never in my thought until, they were quite adamant that I should join. Just, I guess it was my stage presence, and I did. I competed in Thailand in 2022 and came in second runner-up. And since then, here we are. I am the national director for Miss Grand, and I'm always involved with the Filipino community in Canada.
So you already competed on the national stage.
I did in Thailand in 2022. Yes.
Which pageant is it?
It was called Mrs. Asia International Canada. So I represented Canada in 2022.
Okay. And also my follow-up question for you is, where do you see yourself in the future of this franchise?
So obviously this year, it has been a learning lesson, and it's nice to always learn from, everybody makes mistakes. We started very small and engaging in the event that I had, and coming to this event here, it's different. It's, I would say, definitely, I don't really want to say anything, but I would say the process is different. Just timelines and just like process, let's just say that. Without a, but where do I see myself? I would say I want to continue because I believe that I can encourage young women, and as cliche as that sounds with pageantry is, I believe I can make a difference. I can make a difference with what I have done in my life, and becoming who I am today. You learn a lot of life lessons, and involving beauty with pageantry is a huge impact on young women.
Okay. I also have another follow-up question.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. We got lots of time.
I'm kind of curious, since
Yes.
you're already handling a pageant. So what do you prefer most? Joining a pageant or handling a beauty queen?
Because I like control And not so much like people. I like putting an event together and seeing the finished product of it, right? I think my time has come with my age and, life itself. But I would say, connecting and creating a beautiful event that is remarkable and unforgettable to people would be my passion more than anything.
Thank you so much.
You're
Miss
welcome.
Kat.
Thank you.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi.
Good afternoon. Okay. Well, you've said that you've mentioned that you've been in the automotive industry for 17 years. Am I
Correct.
right? Yes. And now that you're handling Miss Grand Philippines, Filipino Community of Canada franchise, what traits or competencies that you had for 17 years do you apply or can you apply now that you're a national director? Because this is a different, arena, but for sure there are certain competencies that you've learned or acquired during your stint as a finance
Yes. Director.
director.
Mhm. Wow, that is a good question. So in everything in life, it connects to other aspects. With the director of finance position, I was in charge of several finance managers that were under my umbrella, and connecting and teaching and training them to become a better finance manager financially and also in their own business would be, connecting that with the pageantry and evolving somebody from, amateur to a beginner to somebody that can take over the whole title itself. And organizing and time management is huge when you're a director with regards to how much time you spend with each finance managers and training and all the same thing when it comes to a pageantry with, training them how to walk, training them how to Q&A and press conference like that. So definitely a huge connection with managing people and managing queens.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Miss Kat. Oh my God. So my question is, why do you think you're the right person to get this franchise, the Miss Grand Philippines Philcom Canada? And yeah.
Why do I think I'm the right person? Well, anybody can be the right person. At the end of the day, it's all about the passion and how much you want to put into the actual event and the actual franchise itself. So I always say that you can have a job and you can have a career, but when you're passionate about those things, that's when it really shows how much you care about that franchise and how much you care about the product or the people. It all starts with passion.
I'll give you a hard question.
Okay, I'm ready. I like challenge.
Do you think it's fair that Filipinos abroad have the right to compete for Philippine national titles when they don't live in the Philippines? Your timer starts now.
Do I think they have the right to compete in the Philippines if they don't live here? Well, yes. So the reason I say that is because no matter our location in the world, we have true Filipino blood. And even though they may not live here, their hearts are still with the Philippine community, whether it's their family, extended family that are still here. There's questions whether or not should they compete internationally because they're already international and coming back home. I think the right person who can represent the Philippines authentically and genuinely, I don't think where they live should matter. So yeah, the answer to your question, I do. As long as, again, they're authentic, they represent their heritage, and we are true Filipinos by blood anyways. So location is no matter in my eyes. Yes.
Just speak Tagalog.
Konti lang. But I'm Kapampangan. So, Hi.
Good afternoon.
It's still after.
What other differences are you seeing in Canada versus the Philippines and international?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
What other differences are you seeing with girls in Canada versus the Philippines and international?
So here they live and breathe pageantry right from when they are young, right? And so the caliber of what they do here is huge. And the difference is there they can choose the next day if they want to be a pageant. As here, they take years and years of training, years and years of Q&A and understanding the involvement of the pageantry. And to be honest, we can't really compete as well because, like I said, from living and breathing pageantry from a young age to deciding, the next week that you want to be pageantry. So yeah, we have a lot to learn from everybody here, 100%.
In follow-up na lang po, now that there are certain requirements with Miss Grand
Yes.
that are specific to candidates,
Yes.
do you think it's fair to exclude certain candidates?
No. So I think when it comes to pageantry, and this might rub people the wrong way, sorry, before I continue there's people in Canada asking who is live right now because they're not seeing anyone.
Yeah,
We're live.
pageantology. We're live at pageantology page.
It's on Facebook.
PEGANT
DHO.
T. Do you mind?
Yeah, sure.
Just because they're asking to see.
The calculation.
Yeah, I gave them the list.
Oh, it's on Facebook.
Facebook. Okay.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Because it's live on Instagram.
This is IG.
Facebook.
But if they want someone on Instagram, Titas of Pageantry is live
Tita is on
Instagram.
live.
Yes,
Okay.
on Instagram.
Titas of Pageantry, one word, on Instagram.
On
And also
IG.
TikTok.
Tita of pageantry.
No,
Titas.
Titas, plural.
Aunties.
Thank you. I'm just gonna make sure that they have that. Okay, perfect. Okay, so can we repeat that again?
Now that there are certain requirements with Miss Grand that are specific to the candidates that they are looking for, do you think it's fair to exclude certain?
I think exclusivity is important. Again, I don't want to rub people the wrong way, but inclusivity, that just means anyone and everyone. When we do an exclusivity of an event and there's certain categories or certain requirements or anything like that, it gives those category a chance to represent themselves how they are. And yeah, I just think that exclusivity for whether it's women or it's a mister or it's a different event, I think it's important to represent your own community. And then we can, and if there's another event where it's an inclusivity, then that should be the event for that. But I think there should also be exclusivity along with inclusivity of events. You're welcome.
Hi, Miss Catherine.
Hi.
Yeah. My name is Adam. I've been noticing that, you seem to be a very well-spoken baby, and we can hear that from the accent. So I'm curious to ask, have you lived your life mostly abroad? And can you share more about your background in the process?
Yes, so I've lived in Canada for 37 years. And I arrived there in 1989. I was 9 years old, so a long time to be there. And, mentioning how I speak, my dad, when we were younger, we would have allowances, and he wanted us to be really fluent in English. And so what he would do, he would, penalize us 5 cents or something when we spoke in his presence, And so what that did is it motivated us to speak English around him. And so if you don't hear the accent, it's also because he encouraged us to be, well-spoken in English instead of, not that we want to lose our Filipino accent, but that was just a way because you're going to live in Canada, which I have been there for 37 years. And then, what else is there? Aside from
But
being...
were you born and raised here or there in Canada?
Yes, I was born here and then raised in Canada in 1989.
In
Yes.
Pampanga.
In Mabalacat, Pampanga. Yes.
So did you finish your
Where did you finish your schooling? Here?
In Canada. Yes, I finished there.
Where in Canada, man?
Calgary, Alberta.
Calgary?
Yes. 1 second. Pass. Can you write? Because it's saying they're not seeing it.
Did they not see
Hmm? Yeah, I gave it all to them, but they're not. Hmm? Maybe I'll just do live on my own IG. Okay, 1 second for... Let's-
That's right.
No, it's speaker. Yeah, I think that's me.
Okay. I'll just do a little bit. Is there any...
Oh, let me do that.
Ayan, let me,
Ikaw na.
ano.
Yeah, because they're not, they'll see that afterwards, but it's already live on there.
Okay.
It's already on.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Wait.
raise the camera.
Where's the camera?
Boy, that's
Turning over to the
Adam G. the line. Ayun, may extra siya.
yes.
Thank you.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Hindi.
Ano,
Hindi.
Jane? Ano?
Portrait.
Portrait.
Ako na mag-hawak.
That's okay. Sige. That's okay.
Nakalive na ba sa
Nakalive na.
Start off.
That's who was trying to... No. Are they waving?
Ano, ready? Ayan, okay.
Okay, go.
That's fine. Okay.
Okay, go.
Ready? Okay. Thank you.
Question?
So yeah, so it was your dad talaga who taught you to really, to encourage you to speak in English. That's why you're so fluent. That's already when you were already there living in Canada, or did it happen as early as when you were still here in Pampanga?
Well, we learned English basic here in Canada, but it really exemplified there when I moved to Canada because my dad, he was Scottish. Yes, so he was the one that encouraged me to make sure that I spoke English around him. I mean, we could speak around my mom, but I did lose Kapampangan and Tagalog after not speaking it for so long. And when I graduated, I landed back on my homeland, and I'm not even exaggerating, out of nowhere, Kapampangan just came fluently out of my mouth. But English was, obviously that's my first language now, so that's why it's fluent.
So since your dad is a Westerner, did he have any qualms of you expressing your interest when you started joining pageantry?
Actually, unfortunately, he never saw me get into this whole industry.
Oh,
But yeah, he would have been proud because, I was his little girl, and yeah, I was really close to him, and my brother was in the back. There's two of us, and he was yes. I wish he had seen this side, but I know he's proud.
Very happy.
Yes.
for sure.
Thank you.
So, My next question is, since we're talking about the franchise, was it about the Miss Grand Philippines franchise that attracted you to get it? Because let's face it, there are so many pageants out there, and so normally people would usually get more popular franchises. But can you share us the story or the decision-making process as to why you chose to be a franchise holder of Miss Grand Philippines?
Or maybe to add to that, maybe share us the whole story. How to get it back?
I see. Okay, so why Miss Grand and how did I get it? Okay, so why Miss Grand? So to start it off, I was here because I was going to compete for Miss Philippines, so Miss Universe Philippines Canada, because they had acquired that franchise for the January event. So I tried that out, and then as I got to know people networking, I met Rao, who designed this and who designed a lot of my attires. And I met Miss Shandy, and I met a lot of people through networking. And they had the idea, because of the way maybe I carried myself, my professionalism, and just the way they felt about me, they had reached out to me, and then also, asking ALV if they'd be interested into opening up a franchise in Canada. And the conversation started, and then I acknowledged and I accepted, because again, it's one of those things that is I'm passionate about, right?
But prior to the meeting,
Mhm.
did you have any idea what Miss Grand International is all about?
I did, because I do watch the pageantry in the Philippines from Canada. And the reason for Miss Grand is it's not so much the seriousness and the type of pageant it is. I love the fun, the vibrancy, and just the event altogether. Someone can be who they are, and you can tell when they're authentic on stage, especially when they do their first opening act or dance and everything else. So Miss Grand definitely attracted more to me, just because it was a bit more friendly and casual and more fun. Mhm.
So on that note, now that you have a representative competing for this year's edition, how were you able to get her? Was it through appointment, or did you hold a separate? Did you hold a national pageant for it?
I did. I did have an event, and I kept it very small and intimate because it was the first year. I didn't want something so grand, as conflicting that is. I didn't want anything too big for the first year. I wanted something small and intimate and memorable, and that's what I had. I had a small, memorable event that people are still talking about, and it had raving reviews. And Jasmine, so I had 4 judges. She was able to convince the judges, and all the results were very transparent. If anybody had any questions on, how they scored or why the winner, everything was available to them, and I'm a very transparent person. They could email my tabulator, and they can get the answers if they wanted. So Jasmine, who is supposed to be here, she definitely earned her title.
And to your credit, she's been doing well.
Yes, thank you.
A lot of us are noticing her in the
Uh-oh.
competition, and she seems to be doing her homework, especially when she did her intro in the last event. Yeah,
Yes.
that's where we noticed her, apart from the big hair that she has.
Yes, aside from the hair, but she's very sassy. She's very comfortable. Now, off the stage, I'm not sure if anyone's seen. She is a little bit shyer, but on stage, it's just like the diva shows up, right? And so she's very comfortable on the stage for sure.
Last question before I
Yes, go ahead.
before I turn over the mic to my next friend here. Since this is your first year, have there been any challenges that you have encountered while preparing or mounting your inaugural edition?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And, I am very, like I said, I'm very transparent. Yes, there was a little bit of a controversy that happened during this event. No, sorry, after the event. During was amazing. After the event, and it's on my IG. If you really want to know, it's on my IG. So I don't want to call it a controversy anymore or anything because I've gone beyond that. But it had also opened a lot of doors for me, having that controversy exposed. And it was just more wondering if my franchise was legit and if I actually had something with ALB, and it was obvious that I did, and so I just had to put it to rest, and it's been put to rest, and it has opened a lot more doors for me.
So would you consider this as some sort of a baptism of fire
Yeah.
when you're in?
Yes, it was a bittersweet. At the end of the day, it felt like why, and then now we're sitting, and I'll tell you guys a little bit more on the actual results of that. And now you're going, thank you, because now I have this, which I will disclose exclusively to you guys because no one else knows about it. So, yes,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Hello, good
Hi.
evening.
Good evening,
Good evening.
I hear Pinay is watching there.
Yes.
Yes, we're gonna talk about them.
My question is actually about Pinay Magazine.
Mhm.
So what is it about? Is it a fashion magazine? Is it like a culture magazine? And what are their contributions for you heading the Philcom Canada for MGI?
Right. So Pinay Magazine, they are on IG as Pinay Magazine, and they are out of Dubai, and they focus a lot on the beauty of Filipino women. And if you look at their page, they spend a lot of marketing and exposure of beautiful women around the world in Las Vegas, Times Square,
Yes,
in
Times
Los
Square,
Angeles.
the billboard.
Yes. You'll see a lot of IG lives of their billboards in EDSA also, and they're also Pinay Magazine. They're also financially sponsoring me for my next event next year. And so that's why our event for Miss Grand next year is going to be that much bigger and that much better because of Pinay Magazine. And relating it to your question on the controversy, they saw that, and this that I had mentioned earlier is because it went from that little bit of conflicting information to them reaching out to me and saying, we would like to be there for you, we would like to financially sponsor your next event, we would like to change the negative narrative, and we would like you to be part of our sponsorship. So yeah, so that's why.
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My next question, Catherine, is that you mentioned earlier that you were active, or you're still active in the Filipino community, and I know that when you picked Jasmine to represent Miss Grand Filipino community, you had judges. But as a national director, what exactly are you looking for? What characteristics would you be looking for in the future? May it be physical or otherwise?
So when I spoke with the judges, they had their categories: best in swimwear, best in evening gown, best in casual swimsuit. They had their categories. But at the end of the day, what I told them is, I want you to judge also not just on their attire or their bathing suit or anything else. I want you to judge the confidence and how the person carries themselves, and do you see that person representing the Philcom community of Canada. So physical attributes, not in my eyes. I never told them to decide based on physical attributes. It was more based on representing Filipinos and the authenticity and the confidence of her. Because Miss Grand, you have to have that, They dance, they sing, they do Q&A and stuff, but yeah, the authenticity was a big factor.
Okay, and if I may, my last question is, you seem to be in control now, and you've experienced the challenges that came along with your first franchise. Do you see yourself acquiring other franchises in the future?
I mean, that's a dream, right? So you can't stop at one. You know, you gotta go for the second one. Actually, I do also own Miss World Philippines Canada. So I'm not sure you guys are aware, yes. So that event is coming up next year. So I actually have Miss Grand Philippines Canada and then Miss World Philippines Canada. So those two will be for next year. And for the teen aspect in Canada, I have Miss Teen International, which is multicultural. It's not just Filipino. So I have that franchise where it's actually a Filipino girl that's competing in India in August. So that I have, but do I want a bigger fish of pageantry? Yes. You know, you never want to stop at just the minimal amount, right? So yeah, definitely those are in the horizon.
Horizon.
Yes.
Right. I have two questions for you.
Yes.
First of all, now that the age restriction has been lifted in Miss Universe, do you see yourself competing in Miss Universe? Or Miss Universe Philippines first? Or Miss Universe Canada?
Maganda question.
Sige. Okay. Ready?
Okay.
Okay. Now that the age restriction has been lifted in Miss Universe, do you see yourself competing in Miss Universe Philippines or Miss Universe Canada?
So I mean, yes, I would love the opportunity, but I walked in here, I'm not as tall as most pageant women. So is that a challenge? I mean, at this point in time, height requirements, age requirements, marital status requirements, it's so inclusive with Miss Universe anywhere that why not? I mean, why not? It would be definitely the height of any pageantry that anyone would want to compete in. But yeah, I mean, that door isn't closed, but you never know.
You never know, right? And my second question is, a little bird told me about a few things that are happening to you right now.
Mhm.
Could you share to us what those are? Because I heard they're very exciting.
Yes. Okay. First thing is on the personal side, I have obviously I have my kids, and I am a single mom for 7 years, where I chose to focus on my career and focus on my children. You know, and you know, being here, developing this, and traveling the world, I would not have been able to do this and acquire it. But yeah, so definitely there's a special someone in.
Is he here?
He's not here yet. So maybe you'll meet him at the gala if you guys are there, or at the coronation night. Because he's watching.
Everything's fine. Say hi.
We have a surprise for you.
Let's just
Come out.
We have a surprise for you.
It's here.
He's here.
Yeah, right. Open the door. Sana, I mean, I wish you would have surprised me to, show up tonight, but no. But yes, definitely there is that somebody, and yeah, I hope you guys get to meet him on the gala and the coronation night. As for your other question, yes, there is something big and happening. I just signed on with an agency, and through the connection with Pinay Magazine, because they have really exploded myself and my looks or capabilities. Yeah, so I signed up with them, and Resorts World Las Vegas, I'm going to be on, yes, I'm going to be on there. So their whole, I'm not sure if you were aware, they put Filipino women on there. So it's going to be on the building where, as you're landing, they see it. Everybody knows about it. And then there are some brands that have signed me to be part of their brand ambassadors. Yes, and there's quite a few of them, and we're going to announce it soon enough. So that's really exciting on the personal side of it. It has nothing to do with Miss Grand, but because I have Miss Grand, that's what really opened up the door for this world that I have now. So the ROI and the return of investment of acquiring this franchise, Definitely. 1,000 times, yes. Yes. So thank you, Ms. Grand Philippines, ALB.
Hi, Miss Catherine.
Hello.
This is Jay from pageantry. Good evening first.
Hello.
So my question for you is, being here in the Philippines, how does it differ from the world of pageantry in Canada?
The difference and the, like I said, the difference and the caliber of here are day and night. And the reason I do that is they start them very young here. You know, we have muse of the class, or we have a muse of a community, and it all starts right from childhood to want to become this pageant queen. So living and becoming here is a lifestyle. In Canada, sometimes we feel that we are entitled to just be what we want to be. And like I said previously, someone can wake up and say, you know what, I'm going to compete without training, without proper preparation, without all of that. And I think that needs to happen, that we need to evolve into learning how to become a queen instead of just deciding overnight that I'm gonna compete, right? So definitely Philippines has it way better, way higher of caliber than we do in Canada right now.
All right, thank you so much for that very nice answer.
Wow.
I have a follow-up question for you. So aside from engaging into pageantry, what else are you most passionate about?
Traveling, yes. I'm at that age where I want to see more and travel more. I've raised 4 kids, and you know, George is going to be 11 years old, and the opportunity has the opportunity is now, and you know, being with that special someone, I think it opens up a lot of doors. And yeah, my passion would be traveling the world and seeing more. And I guess another thing while we're at it is I've always wanted to be more of a philanthropist. I like helping. I have a weakness and soft spot for young children and the elderly. So wherever I can place myself in that and helping either one, everyone in between can take care of themselves. But I love children, and I have a soft spot for the elderly. So find something in that regard.
All right, thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you.
Hello, Kat.
Hello.
So Anton from pageant. Okay, so now that you're the national director for Miss Grand Philippines Filipino Community in Canada, how do you handle criticism and feedback, both positive and negative?
Yeah, great question. In anything we do, there is positive and negative feedback, but sometimes the negative can outweigh the positive, and so sometimes you just have to embrace the negative, because just like what happened in my event, the negative and then the positive that came of it, right? Being in the car industry, it has taught me to have thick skin. You know, get told no, you get told leave me alone, I don't want to purchase, or you know, people don't want to listen to you as a director. Yeah, you learn to have thick skin when people are criticizing you or judging you. At the end of the day, you weigh it out whether is it that important to acknowledge that negative press, or do you just take the high road and walk away and pretend it never actually occurred? So.
Perfect.
I just wanted to ask, in terms of giving, I'm from sociology. I wanted to ask, what advice you want to give to the current Miss Philippines, Jasmine?
So Jasmine, I'm not sure. Is she here now? Okay, why don't we bring her?
After the last question.
Okay. Jasmine, I'm not sure if you know the history. So I have actually, before the pageant actually occurred, I wouldn't say like a lost puppy, but she also didn't have the family. Come on in, girl. This is our candidate, Ms. Jasmine Garner. Better late than never.
You gotta show up passion. Let's get a picture.
Perfect. First side. Here, that's me.
Here, that's it. Here, that's one. Have a seat.
So perfect timing, Jasmine, even though you're late. The question is about you. So let's answer this together. So the question, Jasmine, was, what is it that I would give you advice on, as a candidate? And I was kind of wanting to get into our personal relationship to kind of see the development of Jasmine. And so Jasmine got along really well with one of my daughters, actually two, maybe three now, maybe four. So I really embraced her as kind of one of my own, right? And so I've helped kind of prepare her. And I consider her family. And, aside from adopting her legally, because she's 18 now, 19. So I've pretty much adopted her as one of my own. And now, here we are. And do you want to say anything?
I just want to add to that like, you really did taught me a lot, especially because ever since after the conflict that we went through, you taught me so much about, I get scared really easily, and I don't know how to speak my mind. And if you know Miss Catherine, she does not sugarcoat on anything. She will say what's on her mind, and I think that's what I really got from her. And I'm really, really happy that I got that from her, because at some point in my life, I would just let people take advantage of me, and I didn't care. Like, I'm such a people pleaser that I was okay with it, but then she was like, no girl, fix, act up, act right, and I was like, yeah, you're right. And then, yeah, I get to say what's on my mind now. I say no to things I don't like, and yeah, I'm really grateful for that. That's the number one thing. Every time they ask me what's the number one thing that you learned from Catherine, it will always be that, because I'm so grateful of that. Yeah.
Yes. Anything else?
No, she just got here.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Jasmine, any message to Catherine?
My message to mother.
Mother.
I do call her mother because not a lot of people know this, but my mom was around physically, but she was not really there for me mentally and emotionally. But then Miss Catherine stepped in and filled that shoes, and I'm just really happy because she says this too, but I really don't want to admit it. But my life has been so much better since she was in it. Well, she's in it. And I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful. She teaches me a lot. She is very strict. She's very strict in a good way. She's a really good mom. She treats me like I'm one of her own. And she's always on point on everything. And she's always right, guys. That's what you have to put in mind. Catherine is always right. And yeah, every step of the way, she guides me. And whether that's my job, school, anything, oh my God, I'm like, okay, well, she guides me on everything, and I'm really happy since she's been in my life, because before her, I was so lost. I didn't know what to do. I was out of my job, and then she was like, "I got you, girl." And then ever since then, she was just there for me. We argue a lot. We are like mother and daughter, but she's always there for me, like a real mother is, and I'm really grateful. Very, very grateful, and I'm very, very lucky to have her in my life. Even my dad, my family knows how lucky I am to have her. So, yeah.
Thank you, Jasmine. Yes.
Hi, girl. So how's your...
Hi, I'm Asha Pageant College. So how's your Miss Grand Philippines pageant so far?
It's really good. Oh my gosh. I'm learning so much with the girls, and they taught me so many things that I don't even think they realize that they're teaching me, from the walk to the mindset to everything. And it's really fun. Miss Grand, if you want a fun pageant, Miss Grand it is. Like, oh my God, I can be myself in that pageant. It's so fun. So, yeah.
This is your first meet and greet. And of course, for those who do not know, can you please tell more about yourself, or give us 3 fun facts that you want to share with us?
Okay.
Wait.
Okay. My name is Jasmine Garner. I'm 19 years old. I was born in San Carlos City. No, I was born in Bacolod City, and I was raised in San Carlos City. And I may not look like it, but Bisaya akong dako. Bisaya akong dako, dai. And 2 more fun facts about me. I love to dance. I love to dance. You're gonna see a video of like Miss Grand, like our training, and girls, during the finals, I'll show you what I have, guys. I'll show you what I have. I love to dance. And okay, you know how they say that 99% of Filipinos can sing? That's one of my weaknesses. So I belong to the 1%. I belong to the 1%. So yeah, those are fun facts about me. They may not be so fun for you guys, but it's fun for me. So.
Okay, another last question. So wait, you speak Tagalog?
Bisaya, gay kumda ko.
This is a favorite pageant question from mga pageant media. So why should you be our next Miss Grand Philippines?
Oh my gosh. Why should I be? Because I know the Filipinos want to see something new. So why don't we give that to them? You know, like, why don't we send someone who is half African American and show the world how diverse Philippines really is? And not just that, I have so much thing to offer on the table. There's so many strengths I can put on the table. And I do believe that I'm just a carbon, and with the right force, the right people behind me, I can turn into a diamond.
How old are you?
I'm 19 years old. I just turned 19, guys. I'm a Cancer.
Thank you and best of luck.
Jasmine, I would like to ask, who's training you for your pageant, for your competition right now? Since you are a beauty queen yourself, ma'am, Miss Catherine, are you also, lending your expertise or knowledge in terms of prepping Jasmine here for the contest?
So we have a team behind, the development of her. The one thing I always tell her, aside from being authentically you, is to research and educate yourself. I said, instead of being on TikTok or Reels for hours and hours, and we're all guilty of that, I said, you need to read about worldly things and understand what is happening in the world. Because when you're on that stage, you never know what question you're gonna get, right? And she's always like, Mother, I don't want to, Mother. But as much as I am strict on her about being on time and making sure how you present yourself in public is how you want them to judge you by, right? But those are things she's learning. So for me, educating yourself and understanding what is happening in the world is important. And I think you'd agree with that, right? So
I so agree on that. She's more focused on developing my mindset because that's very important when it comes to pageantry, and Filipino pageantry is very competitive, not just when it comes to walk, but with the way you think. And she plays a really big part on that, which I'm really grateful of.
Who's teaching you to do your pasarela walk here?
Of course.
Of course.
The one and only.
It's a secret, guys. You'll know once the competition is over.
Jasmine, this is your first ever national competition at the age of 19.
National.
You went to Vietnam
Yes.
for Miss Fitness.
I did. I went to Miss Fitness. Sadly, I only placed in top 10. But yeah, yes, I did compete in Vietnam.
What country?
I represented Canada. Yes.
When was this? Last year?
This was last year. It was last year.
Who won that?
Philippines. But we're still really close. We're still very close. Yeah.
So I was just wondering, from Miss Fitness, how did you arrive at your decision of joining Miss Grand Philippines Philcom Canada, and now you're here in Miss Grand Philippines?
When I was in Miss Fitness, this may sound bad or whatever, but when I was there, I was telling my team then that I really wanted to represent the Philippines. Anywhere I go, I always wanted to represent the Philippines because the support that Filipinos have on their candidates, it's crazy. And not just that, it's the way you guys are everywhere. Oh my gosh. And I wanted to represent the Philippines, and when I saw Miss Grand, at first, I'm gonna be honest, at first, I wanted
I-share mo na lang.
Get the mic on that.
You get the orange one now. Yeah. My dream pageant to join was Miss Universe Philippines. But then I was like, I saw Miss Grand, and if you guys can tell, I'm very sassy. I'm a very, very sassy girl. And I saw Miss Grand and I was like, my personality would fit on Miss Grand, and I was like, let's give it a try. And then Miss Catherine over here, she had the Miss Grand Philippines Canada, and I was like, let's give it a shot. And luckily, I won, and now I'm here, and I'm showing you all my sassiness. I'm so sorry for the people who don't like it, who don't understand my sarcasm. This is just me. And yeah, Miss Grand, all the way.
Have you been doing your research? Do you know the 4 B's of Miss Grand?
Everybody knows.
Do you think you can you enumerate those 4 B's?
Of course. Well, right now, for me, I'd say there's 5 now. So, beauty, body, brain, business, and behavior.
Wow!
Yeah.
Madam, speaking of sassiness, sample naman ang introduction.
Would you indulge us in sharing your intro?
Big word. Spell.
Would you mind indulging us or give us a tease or sample of your introduction?
I haven't even thought about it. You guys are putting me on the spot. I haven't thought about it, guys. Oh my god. I haven't thought about it, guys, so I'm just gonna go at the tip of my head.
Yes,
Alright, sige.
Oh my god.
Yan, wait, Nancy, ano ba?
Apparently, I have to do what I'm gonna do in the finals.
Okay. Maybe sample lang.
Sample, okay.
Sample in your own.
Wait, wait.
The mic would be over here, right?
Yeah! Like nga! Like say,
Jasmine Corner, Miss Grant. Welcome!
Excellent. So we're down to our last 5 questions now. So we can
Yes.
maximize the time. You have any other questions?
introduction na ni Miss Candy.
Yeah, it's been a while to do an introduction, right? Beyond that. Thank you though.
Last question?
Is that one showing that camera?
Sorry, I'm so excited. No, but seriously, Jasmine, are you aware of everything that's happening about about this pageant system? Specifically in terms of, would you be interested to do, let's say, ALV asks you to do some sort of a live selling activity? What are your thoughts about it? And do you think that kind of activity makes someone like you unqueenly?
Live selling, I feel like, yes, that goes back to the economy. It helps the economy grow. And I feel like that's part of Queen's duty to help the economy, is it not? And I feel like it's a really big thing. Live selling, you make banks, you make money, okay? And I think people are there's so much more to Miss Grand than just live selling. And I feel like people are focusing so much on that because of what happened. But Miss Grand is so much more than that. These women have been training their whole lives, and these women are so educated that it's not a problem at all. Live selling, it goes back to the economy. That's all I want to say to it.
So,
So speaking of, selling yourself ahead of the competition, why do you think they should choose you as the next Miss Grand Philippines title holder?
I do believe I answered this.
ano nakikinig? We're not listening. Yeah, Miss Grand Canada. Of course, you will be competing in some front runners, heavy faves, pageant veterans. So, why pageant fans should also give attention to your Miss Grand Philippines journey? You will be competing in some front runners, pageant fans' favorites, pageant veterans. So, why pageant fans should also give attention to your Miss Grand PH journey?
You guys have ever heard of a dark horse? Yeah, she's right here, guys. Like, I don't want it to just be my words against, I don't want it to be my words against yours, but let me just show you guys on the finals, because this Morena girl can do so much more.
Right. Thank you. I guess I'll pivot back to Miss Catherine now. Miss Catherine, when you selected Jasmine, when Jasmine won, what were your expectations from her?
So the question is, when Jasmine won, what were my expectations? Okay. So like she said previously, before her arriving, I said Miss Grand was very vibrant, was very fun, and she said the same thing. And she does have that personality when it comes onto the stage. She comes out, this diva in her comes out. The expectations of her, obviously, physically she has it, right? And the beauty, the interracial mix, she has it. And the sass, she has it. And the only thing that I did tell her is, intellectually, engage and educate yourself a bit more. And I think we've said that already. And yeah, at the end of the day, that's all it is. But we're waiting for another question if you guys have it. And then we're gonna have dinner. Dinner is almost ready. We're gonna eat.
Right, thank you. And we have more questions for Catherine. Does anybody else have any question for this guy?
Hey, girl. Hey, Jasmine. For Catherine, okay. For this year's edition, is there any specific strategy? Well, it's given that you have a very strong candidate this year, if I may say. I've seen you during the press con, and you really caught our attention. And we normally see a colored candidate, and sometimes it feels like they're just a planted candidate for diversity, or they're nice to have in the set of candidates, but I didn't feel that in you. So I think, I really have a good feeling about you. So apart from that, going back to you, Catherine, is there any specific strategy that you can share to us? Of course, definitely there are some secrets and all that. So
no, she's not a plant. She earned her position to be here. And as you said, it showed on that first press con who she is authentically. So no, she's not a plant to have someone of color there to bring some diversity. But at the end of the day, the last part of your question, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Just the last part.
Any specific strategies for this year?
Right. So the strategy would be to bring a little bit of the Canada side of us, right? Because that is a part of who she is, and also a part of who I am. Everybody who are here, they have 100% Filipino upbringing, 100% Filipino blood, Filipino. So I think the only thing that makes us different, that we can totally put out on stage to make us maybe get a little bit higher scores, or just make us a little bit more different and authentic, is to show a little bit of our Canadian side on why the Filipino and the Canadian mix is something that we deserve to represent in the Philippines. Would you agree? Yes.
Thank you.
Miss Kat, you mentioned earlier that you raised your children for 7 years alone.
Yes.
So how do you balance your tasks as a mom and also handling a pageant at the same time?
Yeah, so multitasking and time management has been really, really a big factor. Raising 4 children, picking them up from school. My daughter does drive, she helps out with that. Running a business as a director of finance, that also has a little bit of a time managing. That job is a 9 to 5 type of job. Sometimes I'll stay later because you want to make sure you're making your targets and everything else. And then when Miss Grand came, that was another avenue that I had. So honestly, at the end of the day, my brain can handle a lot. So I can compartmentalize a lot of things. So with regards to, in this side, I'm thinking about pageant, business, children, and everything. So being able to compartmentalize time management and just make sure that you're also having some type of calmness in your life, because some me time and some self-care.
So what's your message of course to all the single women out there who would like to be like you someday?
To be like you.
Yeah.
To be like me.
Who can handle that time management as well, who can joke it at the same time.
So I haven't always had it together, right? And nobody ever has it together 100%. But have I grown in the last 7 years that I have been on my own raising 4 children? Yes, I have had to play the role of the mom, and I have had to play the role of the dad, and provide my own income for that. So I would say my advice to single women who are out there raising children, running business, and being independent is yourself. You have to take care of yourself first. People ask me, you're 45 years old, you don't look 45, right? Why don't you stress? Why don't you do this? I can stress a lot about work, business, kids, and everything else, but I have to have a strong core before I can help everyone else, right? And then my children come next, right? And then work and everything else is secondary to my kids. So myself, my kids, and everything. Oh, and you know what? My faith. I always go back to when there's negative press and everything. My core is my faith, and it brings me back to where I began. And you never forget where you started. So.
Hello. Actually, Catherine already answered my question on how good at age 45. I mean, the regimen or vitamins, skincare, supplements, collagen, brand, off the record.
Yeah. So honestly, growing up, I was not the best at taking care of my skin. I would sleep with makeup on, I was a very athletic person. I'd have makeup on, I'm tired, it didn't matter, I'd go to sleep. So I haven't always had the best skincare routine. It all comes down for me, honestly, is heredity. We Asian have amazing skin and complexion, you know what I mean? But recently, as I'm aging and 45 years old, I use a lot of Korean products.
Wow.
Yes, and I have actually exclusive partnership with a Korean product that I haven't.
Bentahan tayo nito.
Surprise! I do a lot of things and they're not all out there. I don't lay all my cards out. But last year I signed on with a Korean product here, and I'm going to be doing a lot more exposure for them now that this is also coming to an end. But they are very natural ingredients and everything, but I do have an exclusive contract with them.
Yes, congrats. Are you allowed to say the brand? Can you say the brand?
Tell the brand so we can order online.